Good evening and welcome to SCTV, Simpson College's first student-run newscast. I'm Jake Brend. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Liv Allen. Thank you all for joining us tonight. If you've ever taken a government course, or if you're an American, you're probably familiar with the First Amendment. If you need a refresher, the First Amendment states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. This week, Simpson is celebrating First Amendment Week, which commemorates these rights.
The Student Media Department put on the First Amendment wall in Kent Campus Center. Liv has more.
I'm here in front of Simpson's annual Free Speech Wall, where students and faculty alike can come write whatever they want in order to commemorate First Amendment Week. Simpson Student Media hosts the annual Free Speech Wall as part of First Amendment Week, which commemorates our rights to
speech,
press,
religion,
assembly,
to petition the government.
The Free Speech Wall was followed by the annual Constitution Day lecture, which was given this year by Dr. Andrea France, a professor of digital media at Buena Vista University and Simpson graduate. She emphasizes the vital importance of the First Amendment for college students. Student Media Faculty Advisor Mark Siebert seconds this notion.
I just think it's important that students understand the value of free speech and what it means. And it doesn't mean necessarily free speech that we agree with. It means speech for all. I wrote on it, and one of them is a quote by Noam Chomsky that says, if we don't support free speech for people we despise, we really don't support free speech. So, people sometimes write inappropriate things, ignorant things, but that's freedom of speech as well, and it's important that people celebrate that right. We have that right in the United States under the First Amendment. And students need to exercise that right.
The annual Multicultural Barbecue was hosted at the Carver House yesterday. Students and faculty gathered to celebrate the different cultures here on Simpson's campus.
I attended the event and enjoyed some great food, watched great dancing, and talked to passionate people. Here's more from the event.
We love all cultures in this house, so it's a multicultural house pretty much, and everyone is welcome to be here. This is like a start of the year barbecue, and everyone can just come in and enjoy music, food, and flags. And I mean, we like to talk to people and just let them know who we are and what we do, where we come from.
Represents that you, of any culture, whether you are from Mexico, Argentina, Spain, wherever you come from, and you come to the United States, you can succeed with a lot of hard work and just a little bit of luck here and there.
Walter Lane has some great dance moves. I really didn't think we'd see that out of him.
Yeah, that's for sure. Simpson and the Indianola community have implemented a new mode of transportation, bird scooters.
Ethan Humble has more.
The new Bird Incorporated electric scooters are a surefire way to make getting from point A to point B as fun as possible. From the simple use of a mobile app, anyone can locate one of the 50 Bird scooters across town and take it for a ride.
We've been working hard trying to change the downtown, make it more of a pedestrian-friendly entertainment and retail district. And so to me, it makes sense. Make it easy to get back and forth between campus and town square. So.
Doug Byland, director of Indianola Parks and Recreation, has been working hard to change city ordinances to account for the scooters.
Right, so identify some places where they can and can't be. So we don't want people similar to the square riding bicycles around the square or riding a scooter on the square, because we're going to have a lot of pedestrian traffic coming in and out of stores and things like that. So,
however, the Birds have recently run into a GPS issue that causes the scooters to stop abruptly.
And they're still having trouble with the scooters and the connection, basically the GPS or the SIM connection that they have going on. So they go around and then they just lose connectivity. So you could be on them and they just power down, and then, let's say you were in a hurry, you needed to get back to campus, maybe you'd be stuck a mile away.
One designated spot for the scooters is Buxton Park, and Byland says to expect more bird spots around Simpson's campus once GPS issues are resolved. For SCTV, Ethan Humble.
Thanks, Ethan. I've witnessed a lot of devastating losses in my lifetime as an Iowa State fan. An interception on a potential game-winning drive in the conference championship against Oklahoma, a muffed punt against Iowa in 2019, or Jeremiah George stripping the ball on the goal line against Texas, just for it to be called back. All of those caused physical pain as I left the stadium or turned off the TV. They hurt because they were right there. But I have never experienced a loss as disappointing as the 2017-17 defeat by Iowa on Saturday. By all accounts, this has been the most hyped Iowa State football season in school history. Rightfully so. They returned 20 out of 22 starters from a team that was one drive away from a Big 12 championship and annihilated Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl. On paper, this team should have gone punch for punch with an elite Iowa Hawkeyes team. But when the game was played, they didn't. Iowa State's upperclassmen, its offensive stars, all made crucial mistakes that would have been unexcusable for an inexperienced team. But it was from seniors Brock Purdy, Charlie Kohler, Xavier Hutchinson, and junior Breece Hall. Those were the players making the mistakes. It was embarrassing on a day that saw the most national attention that Iowa State football has maybe ever gotten, with ESPN's College Game Day and a primetime ABC game. Now, I know from patterns in the Matt Campbell era that Iowa State will probably figure it out and make a run in the Big 12. A defense that is led by John Haycock and upperclassmen is too good to be wasted. But no matter how the season finishes, the performance on the big stage against an in-state rival will always leave a sour taste in my mouth. I'm Jake Brend, and that's my take. Women's tennis home opener against Buena Vista. In doubles, BV leaves it at the net, and Kennedy Wright puts it away. They get the win 8-2. Megan Grubb serves up the ace. Check that out. Her and Donnie Kinghorn sweep 8-0. On to one doubles. Emily King returns cross court, and the backhand is left at the net, and Anna Wanek says no. They complete the double sweep as we go on to singles with freshman Bella Tranquilina. Playing singles now, she puts a forehand down the line. That's a winner. Her first win in a Simpson uniform. Same story, different court. Emily King is rallying back and forth as she puts a backhand winner down the line. Check this out. Nothing but pain. She wins in straight sets. The fans love it. We go towards Anna Wanek. Wanek serves it up with a huge serve, goes to the net and cleans it up with a volley. She wins 6-0, 6-0. Storm win 9-0.
Simpson football with their first home game since 2019 against Wisconsin Stevens Point. Second quarter, Seth Howard finds Austin Bell in the end zone. Touchdown Storm. Second half, Joe McNally catches the pass, fights the defender. He flips it to Noah Bruckner. Bruckner is brought down. Storm fought hard, but they lost a tough one, 34-17.
Look, it was so hot out. I can't imagine being a cheerleader on those days. On to men's soccer in action on Monday against Cornell. First half, freshman keeper Will Kopp is able to make the save off of the free kick. He throws it out, and we're going to watch Jordy Trana Vasquez. It happens quick. He fires from outside the box. Storm lead 1-0. Late second half, the Rams get a penalty kick, and Zach Miller scores to send the game into overtime. In overtime, George Archer gets the pass from Galen Westervelt, and he sneaks behind the Storm defense and puts home a goal. Simpson loses 2-1.
Men's soccer also lost a close game last week to Carleton 4-1, but the women's team picked up a 2-1 win over Knox while tying with Wisconsin Platteville on Saturday. Women's tennis beat Nebraska Wesleyan to move to 2-1 in conference play.
Men's soccer dropped another over the weekend to St. Mary's as they are riding a 3-game losing streak, while the women's team picked up a win over Grinnell today, 5-2. Golf competed at the Clock Family Classic as the women took home 5th out of 7 teams and the men finished 15th. Cross country, they're having a good season. They ran at the Grinnell Invitational. The men took home 2nd and the women finished 5th out of 8 teams. Now it's time for the top plays of the week. Coming in at number 3, Jordy Triana Vasquez. We just saw this one. Shoots from behind the box outside the 18. It's his 6th goal of the season. He's really just showing off at this point. Number 2, football. Stevens Point up for the field goal, and Cash Lee blocks it. Skies up in the air to Mason Patterson. He returns it up to about the 40-yard line. Cash Lee is able to jump the line and put his paws on that ball. It's not enough, though. Storm lose 34-7. And now for the second week in a row at number 1, it's Jordan Folsky. She's able to gather outside the box and fire a goal from outside the 18. Top right shelf over the goalie's extended arm. She is number 1 for 2 weeks in a row. Storm drew in this one 1-1. And that's all for this week's newscast.
We would like to thank Professor Siebert, Professor Carpinelli, and Professor Steffen, and other faculty members that make this newscast possible.
We couldn't do it without them. Anyways, we'll be back next week. And as always, you stay classy, Simpson.